If you feel it, say it. Michael lies to his child. Taisha and Kaitlyn both have crying fetishes. On this episode of My Girlfriend Makes Me Watch The Bachelor. So I was just hanging up these pictures here. I think they came out pretty good. Look at that straight line there. But really, I had to stop and talk about the men's tell-all on The Bachelorette for Katie this season. And there was just a couple of things that really stood out to me. So the show starts off, Katie and Taisha are walking along the path. And she's asking me, did you tell any of them that you love him or you love them or you're falling in love? And Katie's like, I don't know. Like, I feel it, but I haven't said it. And Taisha stops her immediately. And she says, Katie, if you feel it, say it. Now, I can't remember a time in history, or even as a small child, that when saying something I felt was a bad idea, ever. High school, in arguments, in life in general. Always a good idea. If you feel it, just say it. You'd say it to your boss. You'd say it to your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your parents, your friends. Trust me, people are gonna stick around you if you say what you feel. Guaranteed! Not an actual guarantee. The other part about this was, it was awful. Where is Chris Harris? I'm gonna say that a lot in this episode. Because man, Taisha and Kaitlyn dropped the ball. Just didn't do good. Better yet, they dropped a pile of socks. They're just bad. They shouldn't be the hosts, and sounded like the Bachelor franchise was running out of ideas, and they were there. And that's the thing about success. Sometimes it's just proximity. Then they cut to Michael. Michael gets to FaceTime with his kid every day. Understandable. But the question is, what do they FaceTime about? Lies. Michael's kid asks him, when you coming home? Michael's like, dude, I'm working. Right when I'm done with this work thing? Dude, you ain't working. You're trying to find him a mother and you a wife. Just be real with the kid. You're already not being honest. Imagine how this trickles into the rest of your relationship. Let's stop here and let me give you some parenting advice. Just be honest. Take Taisha's advice. If you feel it, say it. So when the kid said to him, Daddy, do you not want to see me? And the producer was saying, say this phrase, Daddy, do not want to see me. I'll give you some chocolate. And the kid's like, oh, chocolate, I got this. And he goes back on screen and says, Daddy, do you not want to see me? And then 2 minutes later, kid's wolfing down candy like there's no tomorrow. Kids say dumb things. You think Michael would know this. But he's like, nah, throwing in the towel. I'm out. I'm gonna go to Katie's room. Katie's not gonna know I'm coming to her room. But when I open the door, she's got full makeup on, no shoes. She's probably doing some stuff on Instagram with those feet, but who knows? But before we get into the room, I want to talk about one other thing. Michael was talking to his kid and started crying before he answered that question of, you don't want to see me? And Michael's handler comes out and gives him a hug. Let's fast forward. They're in Katie's room. He's breaking it down. He's like, listen, I gotta be a dad right now, and I can't give you half of when you deserve a full. And I don't know if this guy's ever been a dad, but how do you even do that as a parent? Of course you're gonna be given pieces all the time. This guy's like, nah, I'm gonna check out. I think something else was happening. I think there's more to this story than we're being told. So if you think there's more being told, hit that up in the comments below. Let me know what you think was going on in Michael's personal life. I don't care if you just make shit up. So here we are finally. Michael is saying goodbye. And she's like, Katie says, I don't know. This is gonna be my person. And my person could have just left. And she doesn't know what she's doing anymore. She's all over the place. So Michael walks out of the room. Katie doesn't chase after him for a hug. Michael doesn't leave a dramatic note. Not too sure why. But here's the messed up part. Michael had to carry his own luggage. The handler was absent. Where's the handler? She's gone. I don't know where she is. So that's why they started this episode showing Michael talking to his kid. But we're gonna move on now. And we're gonna get to the men's tell-all. First, let's talk about their ugly ass dresses. They're ugly. But also let's talk about Taisha's hair. It's beautiful. Just radiating. She looks so different, I couldn't even tell it was her. Pretty cool. But what disturbed me were Kaitlyn and Taisha's man tears fetish. So they said, let's bring on the man tears. Oh, I love man tears. You love man tears? No, I love man tears more. It was sick. What kind of people are running this show talking about man tears, how much they love them? It's crazy, and it's a very weird fetish, but I guess that's what fetishes typically are. So they show a bunch of photos of Katie laughing and videos of Katie laughing. They show Carl boxing it out, doing his thing. He's all mad. Oh, I gotta fix this thing. People aren't here for the right reasons. Oh, this is so messed up. Oh, man. Oh, Carl is annoying, but that was kind of fun. What I just did, what he did was lame. Carl calling out people for all the wrong reasons. You had all the Hunter drama being brought up with his top 4. But really what I'm curious about is what the hell happened to this guy's eyebrows. They're just gone. Like, all of these guys look so dapper. They got the suits, grew out the beards, just looking good. And this guy, no eyebrows. What happened? Big story there. Tell me what you think about this guy's eyebrows. Just drop a comment below. Now, as all this is going on, the men are just bickering back and forth like angry washwomen. Now, the women who are supposed to be hosting the show are literally just sitting there doing nothing. Not directing the conversation or anything. They just look confused. Like, we'll just let them fight it out for a little while until the producer in my ear tells me we gotta go to a commercial break. One of my favorite moments was when Carl told Captain America to shut the up. Pretty cool. Just a nice moment, between bros. And as this is going on, you see Tayshia and Kaitlyn going, like it's constructive conversation that they're having. Like, oh, I really think we're getting somewhere. No, you're just bad hosts. Tayshia and Kaitlyn are about as useful hosts as children running their own daycare, which is ironically very similar to when you get a group of men and or women chasing a woman or a man. I think I just came up with an idea for a show. Oh wait, it's called The Bachelor. We also had Brandon called Carl a scumbag and a snake, and he's like, yep, I did. That was exciting. What I would have really appreciated, which is what the producers did not do, of course, was rather than focus on all the drama, which that's why we watch the show, is to at least show all the bromance that happened. They were so supportive of one another. Imagine if they made a clip reel instead of Carl boxing it out. If they just made all those times when people were supporting Micheal, or they're supporting the guy who left, or the guy who didn't come back from the one-on-one. They were in a real bromance. And I think they should have showed some of that. Hunter was asked, was he there for the right reasons? Again, for the 90th time. And the thing that I'm really concerned about at this point is his hair, because it looks like the guy from Dumb and Dumber. So even though his response was really good, I just kept thinking, man, you look like this character. Yeah. You do. Also, there was a moment when Catman, otherwise known as Conor, told Captain America he was wrong, because Captain America kept saying, oh, Thomas was there for the wrong reasons, it's my opinion. And Catman comes out and says, your opinion's wrong. And then Captain America backtracks and says, well, it's my personal opinion, but it's still wrong. I know we live in an age of millennial snowflakes. And yes, your opinions can be wrong. And I'll give you an example. Guys come up to me and they're like, I'm better looking. And I'm like, dude, you're not. Here's the proof. Like, I appreciate that you have an opinion, but the facts are the facts. So if you think I'm hot, go ahead and smash that like button. We're probably going to have a blowout like session this video. Who's up in the hot seat? Conor's in the hot seat. So let's talk about what actually happened when he made out with this stranger, who was likely a plant. But nonetheless, it was great TV. So I get, like, Conor had a really enjoyable personality on the show. I don't think he'd be a good bachelor because he's just too nice. You know who'd make a great bachelor? Thomas and Hunter on the same season competing for multiple women. That would make a good show. Now, Conor, I get this, right? You've been accused of being a bad kisser. That's never happened to me. Sometimes you're just out and about, and I get it, Conor. It happens. Like, you're on stage and some girl's like, I want to make out with you. It happens to me all the time. And sometimes you just roll with it. But honestly, I'll admit, in all my humility, that you had me beat on this one because you had all your bros there to back you up. Like, it's just so funny. Like, this really hot and just pretty, gorgeous woman is like, I think I want to make out with you on TV. Walks up to Conor, starts making out with him, and all his boys in the background are like, yeah, that's my boy, you're a tiger. Just holding it down. And then he comes back, yeah, bro, you know what I'm saying? Woo! Like, they're celebrating. It was pretty hilarious. It was very broed out, which is why he wrote a bromance song. What was really strange about this interaction with this young lady was, why was she mic'd up? Like, you gotta think about it, right? If she just came off the studio floor randomly, she wouldn't have a mic at all. And I thought it was funny too when they went back to the clip of Conor and Katie making out the first time, where they're basically eating each other's faces. So Katie, who's the bad kisser? Then they stick Andrew in the hot seat. And what's coming up? Trauma bond. Yeah. Then she boots him off. But that's life. You get a little trauma bond, and then you get kicked off The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I mean, it's a foolproof way of having success or not having success. Either way, you succeed in one of those. But I love how Andrew, again, goes to the victim mentality. Yeah, we had a connection, and it was like every moment got better and better, but it just wasn't good enough compared to the other guys. That was like the note you left. It's just so victim mentality. Why not just say, dude, it didn't work out. Like, I thought it was going one way, and it wasn't going that way. End of story. Move on. But the truth is, there's probably a lot of ladies who are sliding into his DMs being like, you the best. So again, I can identify with that. I get it. Andrew, Conor, we got a lot in common. Perhaps I'll invite you onto the show and we can have a brewski and bros out. Then they put Micheal in the hot seat. And the best part about this was they just reviewed everything that we already knew. Like that he left the show because of his kid. That he really opened up about his dead wife. That sucks. 16 years with somebody, I mean, who didn't sympathize or empathize with that? But what was really strange was Hunter was crying, Kaitlyn was crying, Micheal was crying. Well, Micheal crying, that's not strange. It's understandable. So that hot seat was pretty boring. And then they talked about the whoa-whoa challenge, which was you have to withhold self-pleasure. So stupid. But they showed this one clip where they were asking about it, and Michael's like, yep, I'm out. He's just a likable guy, man. So nice. What I found so fascinating and useless about this tell-all as well was, why did they show Kaitlyn and her fiance's proposal? First off, the guy couldn't get out a single word and he just cried the whole time. Now, Kaitlyn is shallow enough about her life and as a person that she was concerned about the shirt she was wearing, not the person proposing to her. And then, out of nowhere, they show some random lady crying in the audience. Like this was a magical moment between two people. And maybe it was for them, between him being unable to speak and her being shallow and worrying about her shirt. I could see this as a real tearjerker. I mean, we were all crying when we watched it. Then we put Katie in the hot seat. So what happens with Katie in the hot seat? Well, we just got done with Micheal and breaking his heart again, twice, right? Once on the show, and then once asking him about it again, but that wasn't enough. So we want to ask Katie again, what was it like dumping Micheal? Can you review it for us? What was it like after he left? And Katie goes on to say, well, I had to move on. Thanks. That was a good move. Get dumped the third time. Things come in threes, you know? The amazing part was how awkward and uncomfortable Katie looked. Now, I got a couple theories. One, maybe a family member's sick. Two, maybe her and, oh my God, I'm getting an intuition right now. Blake and her got into a fight. That's my prediction for who wins The Bachelor. Blake. He's gonna get the money and he's gonna go places. He's gonna get Katie. But I think maybe they got into a fight. Or three, she left the show and she doesn't want to be there anymore. She doesn't want anything to do with this franchise. She wants to go back to managing banks. Maybe a Citibank, maybe a Wells Fargo. I don't know if she cares what type of bank. Maybe an investment bank like Goldman Sachs. But either way, she's very uncomfortable. And the impression that I'm getting from her body language is that there's a lot going on in her head. And she's trying to manage that and also manage her perceived perception of her. So she's trying to act okay, but it's very obvious she's not okay. When she was asked about certain people, she started managing people like she was managing banks. But the truth is, Katie, you're not even a bank manager anymore. You're a TV reality star. When was the last time you even were in a bank managing people? When was the last time? No, period. When was the last time you were even in a bank? Period. Maybe you do online banking. I don't know, like Ally or some other brand. Who knows? But really, I would like your guys' opinion. Hit it up in the comments why you think Katie looked so uncomfortable. Just type it out. Make something up. Have fun with it. Then we go back to more Carl drama. When it was time for her part in the tell-all and she had to answer some hard-hitting questions, she just knew it was time to take out the trash. And that's what you gotta do. And really what was great was Conor's song about bromance. because it's true. Even though a couple of them didn't get along, a lot of them did. A lot of them supported each other. And personally, this was my favorite season of The Bachelorette. And it was based on the guys just being brosing out and supporting each other. I do want to mention one more time that Katie looked really awkward. It was unpleasant to watch. She was managing people like she was managing banks, but the truth is, she doesn't have the banking management experience anymore. When was the last time she was doing bank management? 6 months ago? She's been on 2 seasons of this show. Does she even have a job anymore? Probably not. Just a platform, which she was there for the right reasons though. But if she utilizes that platform now, does that imply she wasn't there for the right reasons? With Matt James? She was really robotic. And whatever's going on in Katie's life, I hope it gets resolved. Or I hope it gets resolved on this season of The Bachelorette. I'll see you guys next time on My Girlfriend Makes Me Watch The Bachelor.
Guys, sing it. The guys on this season have got me believing.